Welcome, dear friends, to Cardiac Radio at 11 p.m., nourishing our souls with one more episode of The Spirit of Truth. The Spirit of Truth is a book, in Portuguese, O Espírito da Verdade. Several spirit authors, through Chico, Xavier, and Waldo Vieira, two mediums, brought to us messages that you'll not find anywhere else. And The Spirit of Truth was written and published in 1961. This book is a tribute to the gospel according to Spiritism. In the preface of the book, several spirit authors, from Dr. Bezerra de Menezes to Eurípides Barçanufo, to Meimei, Emmanuel, and many others, they combine their efforts to bring to us that without the good news, there is no solution. And that's exactly the end of message of chapter number 1, World Problems by Dr. Bezerra de Menezes. When we saw at the very end, he was paraphrasing Kardec, saying, without Christ, there is no solution. And then in chapter 2, talking about world problems, let us relieve the stress of our lives in the excesses of it. Hopefully, you and I are marching towards ridding ourselves of the excess. And chapter 3, here, Spiritist motto. What is the Spiritist motto? How is that going to make a difference in my life, in your life? So here I have a message translated by our team at Cardiac Radio. And this message, Spiritist motto, is short, and it's referring to chapter 15, item 10 of the Gospel According to Spiritism. In that chapter, we're going to talk about without charity, there is no salvation. Is that right? What else? So let me open here the very chapter that I'm mentioning to you. Okay, so I want to quote a few sentences here. All right, 1 second, because I'm just opening it again. The Gospel According to Spiritism. You know, you can Google it, right? And you can find PDFs right there for you to go through and enjoy this book that has changed so many lives. The book, The Gospel According to Spiritism, has changed nations. Yes, in Brazil, it's one of the most read Spiritist books, if not the most read Spiritist book, because people really feel that connection with the good news. Chapter 15, here we are. It's without charity, there's no salvation. But specifically, item 10. So bear with me, right? Bear with me. Let us read here item 10. Item 10 is by Paul the Apostle. Paul the Apostle. Can you believe it? In 1860, he brought this message through mediums at Kardec's time. Paul the Apostle. It's in chapter 15, item 10 of the Gospel According to Spiritism by Kardec. And he begins by saying, my children, within the sentence, without charity there's no salvation, is enclosed the destiny of humankind, both on earth and in heaven. On earth, because beneath the shadow of this banner, all may live in peace. And in heaven, because those who have practiced it will find grace in God's eyes. This phrase is the celestial beacon, the luminous column, which will guide humankind in life's desert, putting all on the right path to the promised land. He goes on and on and on and on. But for you and I, We're going to be inspired by Paul and Dr. Bezerra de Menezes through the mediumship of Chico Xavier, brought to us this message. It's short, inspired in Paul's message. But before I read, let's ask a very personal question. Where are we in our charitable mode? And I say mode because it's an approach in life. It's a choice we make to be charitable. What's to be charitable? To be benevolent towards everyone, to have goodwill towards everyone, to be of goodwill and to give a break, indulgence towards people's imperfections, and also forgiveness of offenses. So, how charitable are we nowadays? More than we've ever been in many lives, because we always progress. But which of these three features do you think we could trim down and work better? Maybe we're good at being of goodwill towards everyone. Maybe it's easy for us. Not so easy, maybe, to be indulgent towards people's imperfections, but maybe easier. But then when it comes to forgiveness, maybe that's where we lack. What is it for you? Let's write down, since the good spirits reveal to us that true charity is of three components: benevolence, indulgence, and forgiveness. Where do you think you are? Why is it so important? Because to know is not everything. We need to feel it. Dr. Bezerra de Menezes right now is telling you and I, the cultivator is driven to the swamp to convert the swamp into a fertile land. The technician is invited to the engine in maladjustment to repair the defects. The doctor is requested by the patient to achieve blessing of cure. The teacher is brought to the illiterate to help him or her in school. However, neither the wounds of the earth, nor the imbalances of the machine, or the wounds of the body, the shadows of intelligence, fall apart at the cost of bitter conversation, but at the price of work and devotion. The Christian Spiritist is called to the problems of the world to help them with the solution. However, to attend in similar question, we must silence discord and censorship and extend understanding and service. It is for such reason that interpreting the concept save by reading from ruin or preserving from danger, Kardec placed his unforgettable motto in the luminous portal of the Spiritist doctrine. Without charity, there's no salvation. So he's saying, without charity, there is ruin. Without charity, we cannot preserve ourselves from danger. And you may be asking, isn't this extreme, Vanessa? We need to understand the mechanisms of life, right? Let us talk about attunement. When I make a decision not to be of goodwill towards everyone, when I have prejudices, when I help this person but not that person, because of whatever reason, when I discriminate, when I'm not benevolent, of goodwill towards everyone, I am connecting with, what kind of spirits am I connecting with? Good spirits? No. If I am of goodwill towards everyone, I'm going to connect with high spirits. At least my guardian angels and the guardian angels of the person will say, thank you so much for helping the person that I'm protecting, that I'm helping. Mhm. So let's say, for example, you work as a cashier in a bank. Somebody comes and says, I need to do this. And you can make that person's life very easy that day by just saying, I'll do this. But let's say you were bored as a cashier. You've seen so many people, helped so many people, and now there is somebody texting you on your phone. And you say, oh, okay, excuse me, I'll be right back. And then you take your phone, go to the bathroom, do your, send your messages. And we delayed 10, 15, 20 minutes in that person's life, plus everybody else who is behind that person in line. For us, it's nothing. Oh, I was just replying. But for that person's life, 10 minutes, 20 minutes can make a huge difference. Not having goodwill. What if somebody who is a celebrity is in front of you and want to cash a check? Would you respond to an email in the bathroom? No, very likely we wouldn't. You may say, well, Vanessa, it depends on the celebrity. Okay, let's say a celebrity you appreciate. You really feel honored to serve right there. You see? It's about attunement. So that choice of not being benevolent hinders us vibratorily. Second, when somebody makes a mistake and we are not merciful, we are not understanding. We're simply like, they made a mistake, that's it. Well, let's take the route that Jesus taught us in the Jesus in the Home. Let's go to the book. Forgive me, I don't have the chapter of that book in my mind, but in one of the lessons, it says that we, when we are seeing somebody who is tormented, rude, in Jesus' approach, we should look at the person and understand what is on the behind the scenes of that life. Because if they were happy, healthy, they wouldn't be acting that way, behaving that way. So that is leading us into understanding the person. And once we understand, we give them a break. Not that we're going to accept the wrongdoing, but we are going to understand the person and give them a break saying they don't know what they are doing. What kind of spirit am I connecting to when I behave this way mercifully? Good spirits. So it's worthwhile walking an extra mile in our relationships and identifying elements, the context that pushed us, others, to making decisions that were not wise. And third, to forgive. When we prefer not to forgive, we are asking life not to forgive us either. It's the law of life. We receive what we give. If we don't give forgiveness, we're not going to receive forgiveness. Who doesn't need to be forgiven? If not in this life, many lives. Every day we need to be forgiven because we're still learning. We seem to be so adults, so civil, but as the Spirit said in the Spirit's book by Kardec, morally, we're still falling behind. So, friends, the doctor of the poor, Dr. Bezerra de Menezes, has a prescription for us. He's saying, The Christian Spiritism is called to the problems of the world to help them with the solution. You and I are being asked to help, to be the one that finds ways to relieve somebody else's life. In the next 24 hours, we are going to exercise. Yes, we're going to exercise together. We're going to find someone to whom we can bring relief. It can be financial, it can be anything material, spiritual, psychological. Okay? Find somebody. Even if it is just a phone call, a text, a gift, donation, friends. Charity is benevolence towards everyone, indulgence towards our imperfections, the imperfections of others, and forgiveness of offenses. That's the direction. In the next 24 hours. That's the Spiritist motto. Let us receive the remedy by Dr. Bezerra de Menezes as a pill. Take it, charity, and absorb the molecules of charity. And as we absorb these molecules, we're going to be healthier, much healthier if we focus on it in the next 24 hours. Shall we, friends? This book is amazing, isn't it? Simple, to the point. It's precisely what we needed. 60 years later, the truth is the truth. It doesn't change. It's remarkable. This book is remarkable. It shows the strength of the truth, the depth of the truth, because it didn't change in 60 years. This is something that is going to help us, as Paul the Apostle said, on earth and in heaven. We thank you, friends, for being here with us. We wish you a lot of blessings, much inspiration. Let's stay connected to this Spiritist motto. Without charity, there is no salvation. Thank you, friends.